let's try this again. It's okay. Things happen, and it's so funny that I just now said there are certain things that will remind you of what you used to do before and make you want to go back to your old you. And just now, when that camera just went off and the live didn't work, I have to admit, it was almost back. So anyway, sorry about that, guys. I had some technical difficulties. Let's hope that we're good to go for now. So day 3, I'm gonna do a recap because the last video I had to cut off because it wasn't working. Day 3 is called D.A.M.N trigger techniques. Okay, and yes, that is real, and it is something that I use a lot, quite frequently. Okay, and so I'm going to explain to you what that is. So D.A.M.N means first, D is delete, A is add, M is manifest, and N is next. Okay, so yeah, it's something that you can use and you can remember it because it's damn. And I know some of y'all don't say damn, but I say damn. But damn works really well for this technique because you kind of feel like that when you're in the midst of trying to move forward with your life, and then something comes up and it's a roadblock, or just you start to slide back again, and you're like, damn, I was doing really good, and now this happened. So now we're going to change that into something positive. All right. So let's talk about this a little bit. Of course, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at my paper too, just to make sure I stay on track, because I want to make sure that my videos are not long, but they are enough to give you the information that you need to move forward on this 21-day journey. Okay. So basically what we're looking at is now we're on this road and we have this new narrative. Okay. It's a new, strong narrative. It's a powerful narrative. We're feeling good about it and we're ready to move on with our life. We're ready to do new things. We're ready to set goals and we're ready to feel good and we're ready to be the best version of ourselves. But what happens is when we do that, we have to be honest about the next thing that happens. It's not all happiness and flowers and roses. Something is going to happen, and the first thing that you're going to want to do is to retreat or to stop or to pause and not move forward. So you have to remember that and expect it. Because I feel like now that we know it's going to happen, expect it, we can take the power away from it and not let it cause us to stop or not let it keep us from moving forward. We know it's coming, so we just have to be ready for it. And so with the D.A.M.N trigger technique, we're going to be ready for it, okay? So basically, the D is delete, okay? So I want you to do like a little diagram with 4 little boxes, okay? The D stands for delete. You need to delete all of those behaviors that caused you to backslide and that did not work for you with your old narrative. Okay. And that does not happen overnight. So you need to really take a look at that and see what you can change and be patient with yourself moving forward on those things that you can't change immediately. But you have to make this list so that you can see where you are and the list will change because see, you'll start moving things around. Okay. So you're going to delete behaviors. I want you to also delete, remove relationships that no longer serve you. And if we can't do that in a day, let's try to work on doing that in a couple of days. Let's try to work on doing that over the next week, over the next 2 weeks, but it's definitely got to be something that will go into your delete box. Okay. So delete. Also, I know you don't want to really hear this, but we might have to delete some friends. Okay. For the sake of the 21 days, let's just say that we might have to take a couple of people out of our life that might remind us of our old narrative. So we'll say it's temporary for now, but I'd be willing to bet that we're going to take some people out of our lives long term. Okay. And here's something that you have to understand on this journey. Okay. So it's not about you falling out with somebody. We think that when we cut off relationships or we outgrow somebody, it's because we fell out with them. No, this is not about that. This is about you can still be cordial, you can still speak, but you're not going to be spending a lot of your time with them because what you spend your time on is what you focus on. So if you know you've got some negative family members, our negative friends, our negative relationships. We've got to let those go because we got to move forward. And those are things that hinder us from moving forward. So those are going to go into the delete box. And again, we're talking about the D.A.M.N trigger technique, and the D stands for delete. Next, A, add. So this one is just as important as your delete. What I want you to do is to focus on adding positive energy, positive things, positive environments, okay? Positive words of affirmation. We need to add those things because, one of the things that I do remember is when I'm going through that season, I quite often want to be by myself. I want to be isolated. I want the room to be dark. Okay, sometimes I would get so serious and I'd be like, okay, today we're going to grieve. We're going to put on all black. Well, let's not do that. Okay, let's stay away from that. Let's add some positive things. Let's add some positive support systems. And we just need to make sure that we add those good things because we have enough negative that you need to make sure you have more positive. Okay, so we're going to add some things. So the other piece is going to be manifest. Now, this one is important, y'all, because you can say manifest as goals, or you can say manifest as whatever, but manifest is what you need to live by. What do you want to manifest? What do you want to manifest in your life? What do you want to manifest in your career? What do you want to manifest in your family? What do you want to manifest just in your health? We're going to manifest some things. And when we say manifest, we're going to put them down. You're going to write them down up under in that manifest section, some things that you want to see happen over the next couple of weeks as we do this 21-day challenge. And we're going to watch those things come because we're going to attract them to us. We're putting it out in the atmosphere, and we're going to watch them come back to us. It works. I promise you it works. We got to start speaking positively. We got to start seeing ourselves positively. We got to start expecting good things to happen. Because now, remember, we changed our narrative. Now our narrative is about strength. It's not our enemy anymore, okay? So manifest. And then the last part of that is going to be next. Now, next is just as important as delete, just as important as add, just as important as manifest. Because next is something that you're going to have to learn how to do. And I'll be honest, it was something difficult for me to do. You have to learn how to adopt the word next. Next just really means that you're not going to be so hard on yourself. Okay? You're not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. And yes, we did this fabulous narrative, but I'm going to be honest. There might be some times and some days that you really kind of revert back to your old narrative. Okay? But what I want you to learn how to do is to say next. No, I'm not getting ready to go back to that old narrative. I'm going to move forward. That old narrative no longer serves me on this level. I'm not going to go back to those old things that I used to do. And I'm also not going to sit and play it over and over and over in my head and say, oh, I failed at this. One of the things that I used to do is I probably tried every diet that there is, from cabbage soup to tuna fish to hot dogs. I mean, every diet you can find in my past, I've tried it before. And so you got to stop being so hard on yourself. And so every time I would do these diets and I would last 2 weeks or 3 days, and then, I'm ready to eat something that I shouldn't be eating, I beat myself up about it. And I play it over and over and over and over again in my head. And I'm just so hard on myself. Or every time I say, oh, you know what, I'm going to stop procrastinating. I'm going to start moving forward with my life, and I'm going to stop, waiting till the last minute. And then guess what? I got a new project that comes up, and I procrastinated and waited till the last minute. And then I spend so much time beating myself up about it again. So what I want you to do is to learn how to say next. Whenever those feelings come up and you fall short of your goal or what you're trying to do, next. Okay, I fell short on that. Next, let's keep on going. Okay, we got to stop playing it over and over in our head, and it prevents us from being able to move forward. All right. So now that you understand what that means, I need for you to consider some things. Okay. So a couple of things that I want to make sure that you know before I end this video that you can look forward to probably happen. So there are some other triggers that are very common that I know are going to happen to you. Maybe one might happen, maybe two might happen, they all might happen, but I want to make sure you're aware of them, okay? Because we're moving forward on this journey. We're ready to go, and we're not going to let anything stop us. So the first thing I want you to be aware of is you're going to be reminded of all the times that you failed before. I promise it's going to happen. And that's okay. So when it comes up and you're reminded of all those projects that you've done before and failed, I want you to say, next. Yes, that did happen. Yes, I did fail, but I'm going to focus on what I learned from that. What can I use now when I try it again? Okay, so next on that, when that comes up. The second thing is non-completion. Sometimes, if you like me, I'm very entrepreneurial minded, but I'm also, sometimes I get so excited about things. I'll be working on 6 projects at once, and it just seems like because I'm spread out so thin that I end up getting tired and can't follow through, and I have 3, 4, 5 projects that are not completed, and then I feel bad about myself because I'm like, I put myself out there and I didn't complete this, and so now, how's that gonna look? Guess what? Next. I'm not even going to elaborate on that next. I'm going to keep going because, see, here's the truth of the matter. I'm going to come back with a new one. I'm going to do another one. And that's what you're supposed to do because you'll keep putting things out in the atmosphere until you find that one that works. That's what this life is all about. I don't know who told us that we're supposed to try the first time and it's going to work. I have not seen that for me. Now, there might be some people that are fortunate, but most of the time, we see other people's story and we see how they really blown up and we think it's their first time and it's not. Rarely do you get it the first time. This whole journey is about trying. And then if you don't succeed, what did you learn out of it? So when you get that caught up in your head again and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to put myself out there again. Next. All right. Procrastinate. Just going to spend 1 second on that because we already know. Waiting to the last minute, putting it off. I don't know, procrastinating. I do it sometime. A lot of people do it. Let's try to not procrastinate. If you normally wait until the day before, now let's try to do something 2 days before, okay? We're not going to get too silly about this and say, I'm going to do it a month in advance because, odds are I'm not going to do it a month in advance, but I'm going to try to do it 2 and 3 days. Progress, y'all. It's not about perfection. It's about progress, okay? So let's work on the procrastination piece because that will halt you and stop you from moving forward. The next thing is shame, okay? Because we are so hard on ourselves, when we don't meet the goals that we set, we are ashamed. And especially, if it's something that you've made public, or if it's something that your family's been seeing, or if it's something that meant a lot to you and you felt like you really fell short on it, or you let people down, that's the other piece. You let some people down and you really do mean well, then you might feel ashamed about that. But it's okay because moving forward, we're not perfect. We're going to do our best not to let you down, and we're going to do our best to move forward and be consistent. But we also going to say next because we don't have time to dwell on that. We have things to do. We need our energy. We need positive energy, not negative energy, okay? So keep yourself in check to make sure that you're not focusing so much on the negative that it outweighs the positive energy that you need. Because again, I need to remind you that what you put out there is what you draw to you. If you're putting out all this negative energy, then guess what? You're going to get a lot of negative things that are going to come your way. We're like a magnet. We're going to attract what we're putting out. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is what people say. The old thing, I used to laugh about this, because I had to bring it up for myself. We always would say, what would Jesus do, right? And that's so good. And the church just loves what would Jesus do. And I like it too. I had a shirt and a pen, all that, right? So I want you to learn another one. I want you to learn WWPS. What will people say? That is a terrible syndrome to have. We have to say next immediately. As a matter of fact, I don't even really want to spend a whole lot of time on that one because it's not even worth it. We should not be worried about what people say. We should be moving on with our lives, building the best version of us. Nobody else can tell me how to be me. I'm sorry. You could try all day long and you could give me some advice and you could give me some constructive criticism. But what you cannot do is tell me how to be me. So last thing I'm going to do is sit here and worry about what you say. Okay, so this is not a what would Jesus do, y'all. Okay, what would people say? Next, we're going to let it go. It doesn't matter what they say. We're going to move forward with our life and we're going to be the best we can be. And the last thing that I will say is because all of those other triggers are so prominent and they happen so often, it would cause you to not want to put out things because, again, WWPS, what will people say? So what you do is you don't put things out unless you feel like it's perfect because you don't want anybody to criticize it. Okay, so that whole thing of perfection, let that go. People gonna criticize it anyway. It doesn't matter if you think you're doing everything perfect. Somebody's gonna have something to say. I promise. I see it all the time. I love Bishop Jakes. Love him. But I promise you, for every person that loves him, you can find somebody else who has something to say. And just because they have something to say doesn't mean it's true. We can't worry about it. Because again, nobody can tell me how to do me. Okay, so we're going to forget about what would people say. We don't care what people say. What we care about is how we're going to move forward, how we're going to make this life worth it to us, how we're going to be the best version of ourselves, and how we're going to manifest things. Because one of the things that I need y'all to understand is it's important for you to manifest whatever that is you have inside of you. Because it's not inside of you for you. It's inside of you for somebody else that you're going to help. It may seem like it's going to give you some great value, and it can, but you have to remember that it's going to be about how you can make a difference in this world and how you're going to help somebody else. So we don't have time to let these damn triggers stop us on where we're trying to go. Okay? So I want you to sit down. I want you to make your list. You're going to do your D. D is delete. A is add. What do you need to add to your life? What's positive? M is manifest, and N is next, okay? And I want you to use next all day, every day, because you're going to have to say that a lot to remind yourself, especially in the beginning, that I'm on a new journey. I understand that stuff happened in the past, but I'm on a new journey. I'm moving forward, and I'm not going to let those old things stop me. I'm not carrying baggage with me because it's too heavy, and I'm going to be tired, and I'm trying to attract new things to me. If my hands are already full, I can't put anything in them, okay? So we're moving forward. And we're not going to let these triggers stop us. So for day 3, we're talking about triggers. And you're going to sit down and you're going to make your list. You're going to make your list of what you need to delete, whether it's relationships, whether it's people, whether it's a job, because you need to find another one, bad behaviors and habits, delete. What you need to add, positivity, all positive reinforcement, support systems, what you need to manifest, what you want to manifest. What is it that you desire? What is it that you would like to see? What seems so far-fetched, but it's really not? What do you want to manifest? Because I promise you, there's nothing stopping you but you. You have to put it out there that you want to manifest these things. And then next is, what do you need to say next about? Okay, next. Remember that. Every time something comes up, next. Every time people try to tell you how to do you, next. Criticism, use what you can use, throw away what you can't, next. All right? So I want you to work on that, and I want you to think about that. And I hope today that I've given you some really good things as you move forward on this 21-day journey. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me. And I will see you tomorrow for day 4. Have a good one.